Okay guys, I'm here today with Josh Stockman. I'm here at Carlos Faria School in Arizona. And guys, he made a very cool instructional video with us for BJJ Fanatics. That was the grappling with yoga. And he's a very high level yoga instructor and also Jiu-Jitsu instructor. He's black belt from the Undisputed School in Tulsa. And today he's gonna show us some exercise for yoga that is gonna help your Jiu-Jitsu. So he showed me already, it's a way to stretch your legs that's gonna help a lot of your guard game with like triangles, omoplata and everything. And it's a very simple move that everybody does, but you're gonna understand why you can use that for Jiu-Jitsu. So I'm excited to learn.
Okay, the key with this is that there's a difference between extension and compression. Extension is how far I can go out, how far something can stretch. Compression is how far it can compress. Okay? So the first thing we're gonna do is a yoga squat. It's pretty simple. We try to put our feet about hip width and then sit so our hips go down to our heels and our heels stay on the mat. And sometimes your buns have to be high or your heels have to be high, but one day you want to be compressed. Yes. So you're as low as you can go and the only thing stopping you is the joint. And like Bernardo's doing in this exercise, sometimes your hands got to go out to counterbalance. If you get a little more settled, you can bring them in, but this is just for show. What we're really looking for is the compression. This is a yoga squat. Pretty simple to do. You can warm up with it, cool down with it, or watch TV, whatever. Another great one for compression is just we're going to take the right foot and step it back. Drive the hips down to stretch this back hip flexor or psoas muscle and compress the front hip as low as I can drop this. And now I'm going to sit up and lean back to get this psoas, which goes from the thigh, the femur, through the pelvis to the lower back. It's a long, twisty, weird muscle. The more I lean away, the more it stretches, okay? I can add to that by bringing my hands down into this lizard position. I drop as low as I can, maybe to the elbows, maybe lower. If I can to stretch the back leg, I'll straighten it. And to add, I'll start wrapping behind this. Yes, beautiful. This is excellent flexibility for a big guy. So I'm getting compression on the front and a stretch and extension at the back. There's some like cool arm balances and stuff you can do from here just to impress your friends. But the last one is we'll sit, grab this foot, the same exact idea, but instead of driving weight to it, we're pulling it back. Like I want to put my knee on the wall. That's a great stretch there. You can add to it by loading it behind the arm and maybe hooking it behind your head.
At some point I was able to do that, but not at 31 anymore.
But here's the application. It's not just tricks at parties, it's maneuverability. So an example of this is maybe from guard. I'm trying to throw up a triangle. I have the low side. The high side I'm never going to get through if I try to swing it. But there's a chance I can load it and just skip the rope. So many ways to apply this. Omoplata. Instead of having to get way out and swing this leg because I'm tight, I can stay close and bring it up and over inside of his defense. Lots of applications. The only difference between yoga and jiu-jitsu, one requires a partner.
Yeah, so Josh, quick questions here. So, for example, I never stretched much in jiu-jitsu in my life. So, do you think like, and nowadays I have injuries on all my body. So do you think doing the stretchings and doing the yoga, I would have prevented all these injuries? What?
I believe so because a more flexible muscle is faster and has less internal tension and is less likely to tense up and cause an injury or a stretch or a mispositioning of your joints and bones. So the more fluid, the more mobile, the more maneuverable you are, the less likely you're to get jammed in a spot that's uncomfortable and causes an injury. I'm a believer in it. At 44, it's the only way I can still train.
And for example, this is something that anybody can start doing, doesn't matter which age the person is?
Flexibility is neurological. No one is tight. You're not tight, your nerves are reactive. When you get here and you feel tight, it's because your nerves are going crazy and causing a contraction of the muscle. The more you convince the nerve that it's okay, the lower you go, and the only limitation is your own time. How much are you willing to put into it? It works for everybody, but it's the only thing you have to do a lot of.
I got it.
Daily, I recommend 10 minutes of yoga a day.
Got it.
Or more.
And guys, Josh made instructional videos with us for BJJ Fanatics called Grappling with Yoga, and it was very, very cool. And for those who watched the instructional, how much of yoga they should practice per day? You just mentioned 10 minutes per day. Is that enough? Or
that's enough for a muscle group. If you're just looking for hamstrings and you do 10 minutes of the hamstring sequence, which we have in the instructional, you'll get hamstrings out of it. To do your whole body, you need to add time. But the problem is your muscles, your nerves, your range of motion gets used to what you ask of it. So if you stretch every Wednesday, you're not really getting your body used to the movement. If you stretch daily, it'll acclimate. And as I mentioned in the instructional, we know it's neurological because under anesthesia, people that are stiff as boards can be put in any position you want because the nerves are asleep. When they wake up, they're perfectly fine, no muscle damage.
Last question. It's a question that I always had when I used to go stretch. Should I do it before the training, after the training, or nothing related with the training?
I suggest after. In the series, we have an awesome warm-up called Surya Namaskar Sun Salutation. It's a very common yoga flow, and we have a couple of vinyasa flows. If you're already really warm and you have an open game, you're already ready to stretch. So rather than jog laps and jump jacks and do push-ups to warm up, I say, just get to wrestling, and at the end of class, spend 10 minutes with all of your stretches because your tissue viscosity will be down and the muscles will be ready to move into new ranges.
Got it. Guys, that's awesome. Thanks so much, Josh. Appreciate it.